Hello, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to do something so special for you. And Shelby and I are going to come on and do a Q&A. We're going to do this probably once a month or so and just talk through some questions that you ladies have been asking her in direct messages and Facebook and email. And so we can take a deeper dive. Shelby is going to take a moment, if you haven't already, and she's going to pin this video to the top of our Facebook group. If you're watching this from any other platform, make sure you come join us. It's totally free. It's called Macro Tracking and Weightlifting for Women. For those of you who don't know me, real quick, my name's Kristen. I'm the owner and founder of Queens of Iron. I've been training for almost 15 years, and we really just love helping women create the physique that they want through weightlifting, like really design, build, and shape your physique and teach you super healthy and sustainable nutrition habits so you can maintain your physique with ease after you've tracked macros, achieved it, learn your habits. You can wean off of macros, enjoy your life with balance, enjoy your life with freedom, and love the skin you're in and feel so healthy and fit. Miss Shelby is one of our support staff here. So she's amazing. And there is definitely an intro that she did on the masterclass, but she was a previous athlete herself in the equestrian world. And she's here to really just help you women get resources when you ask for them. She helps answer a lot of questions. She helps women enroll in coaching. So she's just here to basically bridge the gap between you guys and me and to make sure that you're getting all the deep dive information possible. So without further ado, Shelby, I'll let you take it away and we're going to talk through some questions that you ladies have been asking lately.
Yes, this is exciting. So let's dive in. Number one is one, I feel like I get this one a lot. So my goal is to lower my body fat and build healthy habits. I'm in a deficit. How do I know when to up my calories and macros?
Yeah. So this is a huge question because there are many different scenarios that this is taking place. So the one of them is, okay, I'm in a deficit. When do I know to increase my macros? Well, the first one is when you hit your goal, like when you actually get to your goal weight, right? However, if you have like 30 pounds or more to lose, we may need to reverse your calories in the middle of it. Let's say you have 40 pounds to lose. Maybe we get off 30 pounds, right, in about 30 weeks, but then, 10 pounds usually you can stretch. But let's say for some reason you're just like, oh, I'm so over it. I don't want to be in a deficit anymore. I just, I want more flexibility in play. That can be what's called a diet break. There's a couple different ways you can approach a diet break, but one of them is actually just taking a few days up to 2 weeks to bring your calories up to maintenance and to just enjoy essentially that diet break, right? Or deficit break, I should say. However, for women who have like 50 pounds to lose, what we typically do is we lose about 25 to 30 pounds, then bring your calories up to maintenance, stay there for like 4 months to bring a lot of health to your metabolism, give you mentally a break from tracking, give your body a break from tracking in a deficit. Then after about 4 months, when you're ready, then I would say drop back down into the cut or into the deficit, get the rest of the weight off, and then go to maintenance. So ideally, yeah, it's definitely when you're hitting your goal or about midway through, depending on how much you have to lose. However, there's another scenario. This one, like there are quite a few scenarios in this one. Another one is if you're feeling starving, you're feeling so hungry all the time, you're eating high volume foods. Okay, so you're eating quality foods, you're eating fruits, vegetables, things like that. You're starving, you're tired, you're lethargic, you don't feel great. Maybe like your mood is down. You need to increase calories, and definitely you may need to increase carbohydrate. So that's a good indicator there. Another one is if this one can be tricky on your own, but I still want to share it to give you the information. This one is especially true for women with hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's, where if you're in a plateau, you actually tend to need to increase calories to get out of the plateau to keep losing. That is the case sometimes for other women too, but there are things that need to take place before that. That's a little out of the scope of this question, so I won't go there. But yeah, I would say those are kind of the top 4 to 5 scenarios of when you should be increasing if you're experiencing those. And ladies, also side note, feel free to drop questions in the chat. We can see them on the screen on most platforms. Feel free to drop comments, feedback, like whatever you want to share. Like, we're definitely here to chat through whatever you'd like as well too. Did that make sense, Shelby? All those answers from your end?
Yes, it did make sense. Yeah, totally. Awesome. Okay, so let's jump into number 2, which you kind of dove into a little bit. So I'm concerned about my nutrition. Some days I'm really hungry. Other days I feel totally fine and full. I feel like my calories are set too low.
That's the question. Like, yeah, are they set too low?
Yeah. Set too low? What's going on?
So they could be, but first, actually 2 things first I would monitor is your food quality. Yeah, I just touched on that, the volume, right? So high volume foods, ladies, means we can eat a lot of it for low calorie, which means it's easier to stay in a deficit, but you feel way more full, which is really nice. We have a high volume food list. It's not all inclusive, but we have a lot in there. If you want that, you can just comment high volume food list and Shelby or I will reach out and send you that over Facebook. So yeah, that's the first thing is check what types of foods you're eating. For example, if you're eating a Reese's cup, let's say it's like 100 calories, but if you're eating 100 calories of butternut squash, that's way different. Like one is one bite and one is a massive bowl, right? So it's taking up more volume, high volume, right, in your stomach. So you feel way more comfortable. So if some days you're hungry, other days you're okay, it may be a question of what types of volume. Got you, Nancy, for the food list lab. Yep, exactly. But it may be what types of quality of foods that you're eating, right? Definitely, that's the very first thing I would say. The other thing I would say is how are you balancing and spacing your food? The day that you feel okay, are you balancing and spacing food differently than the day that you're feeling hungry? Are you eating more in the morning one day than you are on the other day so you don't have as much food at night, right? For example. Are you going to be hungry in a deficit? Yeah. Is it uncomfortable? Yeah, right? Your body has a set point right now and it wants to stay there. Our bodies want to stay comfortable. Don't fear the hunger. That's something I've literally feared. And like, obviously a long time ago, it was hard to work through. Don't fear the hunger. It's okay. As long as you're in a healthy and safe deficit, losing about a pound per week. So you're protecting your muscle mass and eating high quality foods and weight training. Ladies, you should only be in a deficit for a certain amount of time, not a lifelong thing, right? Not a forever dieting thing. It should really just be a small amount of time. I realize I've already tangented, so I'm going to stop there. So check your volume of food and then check how you're balancing and spacing. Also, last thing I'll say is check your fiber levels because fiber helps you feel more full. I typically recommend about 25 grams for most women. Some women do like to sit about 35 grams. Others women, that makes them feel constipated. So find the best number for you.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So the next one was actually one that was asked in the group. So she gave her stats. She's 35. She weighs 155, 30% body fat. She has a sedentary job. She's consuming about 1,700 calories a day. It looks like lifting 3 times a week, doing Orange Theory 2 times a week, feels strong. And it's been her lifestyle for the past 2 years. However, she's not leaning out and not sure where she's going wrong. One of the comments that she also made, though, is her protein can range anywhere from 60 to 130 grams per day. She wants to know if maybe this is the cause.
I remember that post, and I think she said she thought her metabolic rate was 1,700 calories. Mm-hmm. And so that was actually my first like red flag of, so if you're talking your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, right? At 5, I think it was 5'5", 155. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That seems really high. I would actually go get that tested from a different source and check that. Like, I think if you were in the more obese category, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I could see that. But I question your BMR. That being said, if that BMR is too high and that's not your true BMR, but you're basing your macros based off that BMR, bam, you're in maintenance. You're not going to lean out. Well, not sure. You do lean out in maintenance, but not to the level that you're wanting, right? That's the first thing I would say. Go get that tested from a different source, okay? Not a calculation, but an actual, if you're going to use that as a number, go get that tested, okay? Excuse me. The other thing is, protein way too low. 155 pounds, the minimum I would say is like, actually, I wrote this down. 120. I'd recommend a minimum of 120 grams. I think I did a 1.8 multiplier, maybe a 1.6 multiplier, but for sure. And the thing is, when you're not tracking your macros, and I'm not going to tell you to track your macros, right? You're choosing not to track your macros because of a past eating disorder. Totally get that, right? But that's way too big of a range. And so I would see if there's a way that currently you're mentally comfortable with figuring out, okay, how many like 4-ounce portions of meat do I need to eat throughout the day to hit my protein, right? Just have like some type of indicator to help you make sure you're getting enough protein. Because if you're not getting enough protein, then it's like, are you actually losing fat or are you losing muscle? Like, let's just make sure your macros are on point as much as possible. So for sure, I'd say work on getting more protein in. But the other thing is, if you're lifting and your weight is not going down and you're at a place where healthily the weight can go down, which you are, more than likely you're just eating too much. Your calories are too high. You need to drop your calories. Don't take it away from protein. Take it away. It's probably hidden fats. You guys, there's hidden fats everywhere, and there's 9 calories per gram of fat, but there's only 4 calories per gram of protein and carb, right? Over double the amount of calories in 1 gram of fat. Oil, for example, eating out. If you eat out a lot, ask them when you order, can you do like minimal to no oil, please? And they look at you like, are you crazy? It tastes so much better. Hey, yeah, you know what? I just really don't like it. I love the flavor of the vegetable, or I love the flavor of this. Like, can you just not do it? Like, I just really love it. And they always do it almost every time. It still comes with a ton of oil, but it's way less than what they normally would do. Get all your condiments on the side, right? Salads, steaks, tacos, like just ask for it on the side. It's insane. You'll save hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calories, literally in like a month period, hundreds of calories if you eat out a decent amount. So I would watch where hidden fats are. And the other thing I'll say, this is dependent because I know you're doing 3 days of lifting and 2 days of Orange Theory. It is possible to get in the volume muscle-wise that you need to achieve the results you want. However, I doubt it's happening. And if it is, yay. If you can tell me how many sets per week you're doing on your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings, each part of your delt, your lats, your mid-back, if you can tell me that number, good. That's good. If you don't know those numbers for your workout, you're rolling the dice, hoping your physique turns out like you want it. It never does, unfortunately. I've been a victim of that. I used to teach body pump and I did Olympic lifting and did just normal weightlifting. I was like 14, 15% body fat, shredded, total 6-pack. And I was like, I hate how I feel in my clothes. I don't like what I see, like when I take pictures. Like, it was the weirdest thing to me. My missing piece was physique shaping. I didn't like, that just wasn't a thing that I knew back then. So that's the other piece on that.
Yeah, so important. So you touched on this. Actually, I'm going to jump to my last question really quickly. How do you know if you're losing fat or muscle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so get a DEXA scan, right? Something like that. A really accurate scan. Here's the thing though about those is you have to do everything the same, like the same outfit, the same time of day, the same, like no food. Like, so you have to be really specific in that. But if you don't want to do the scans and it's not like such a specific number for you, yeah, I touched on about 1 pound per week, right? It's really healthy, really sustainable. It helps protect your muscle mass and it helps you have quality weight loss, which is fat loss. So when I was actually in the beginning of the online business here, I used to have clients lose 1.5 to 2 pounds per week. We follow the research really closely, right? And so we saw, hey, you know what? Let's tone it back a little bit. It does make a big difference. Like, it made a big difference with what clients could build during their deficit from the person who did about the pound a week than from the person that did 1.5 to 2 pounds per week. Although fat loss is a little bit slower, your physique is developed better. And so it's way worth it. And of course, it's like also paying more attention to muscle mass and just like protecting your body to that next level. But you have to have the maturity to say, I don't want to lose faster. I want to lose better.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Why are you
let's
laughing at me? I'm like, I'm like, is this making sense? Like,
it's making sense. I'm just giggling because they're the same things that like I pop in my head. I get asked this question a lot. So
I love it. I
let's
just want
get
to,
like, okay.
I just want to make sure I'm like, am I saying something silly? I'm like, this does make sense, right? Okay, yeah.
All makes sense. Yes. Okay. So final question, and this one is popular. I have a demanding career and a busy family. However, I have my own goals in the gym. How do I stay focused on achieving these goals without feeling guilty that I'm not spending all of my time outside of work at home?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a deep question. Definitely. I am a mother as well. I am my child's only parent. And so there's like all of you, right, is 100% there all the time. And the first thing I would say is put on your own oxygen mask first. If you're not taking care of yourself, you are not effective for them. You may be some effective. I'm not trying to be harsh. You may be definitely effective, but not at the level you could be if you were prioritizing your fitness and nutrition. We had a gal just recently say, I have all these things going on, school and family and this, and I just can't do this right now. It's like, oh my gosh, like this is the time that you need to be doing this, because otherwise it goes to the back burner and everything else will suffer. Your attention, your patience, your quality of life, your sex life with your spouse, how you feel about yourself, your energy, how much you can handle, your resiliency. That hour in the gym is actually buying back hours in your day. It's not taking away time. I just spoke that over myself, literally, because I'm like, you missed your lift yesterday to work more. So you guys, I'm not perfect either. It's so true, though. The other thing I would say is it's a balance, right? Make sure not all of your time is going to the gym. Like maybe you need to do 45-minute sessions because it's a longer drive, right? Or maybe when you're prepping food, you can make it a family affair and kids can help you cook, right? You can get them excited about their fitness goals. And so it's like a fun thing you guys get to talk about together, right? My son's almost 5. He's getting really into like muscle. He always asks me to flex, and like he's getting really into the idea of exercising. So now I'm like starting to bring him to the gym on Saturday mornings, right? And so it's like we're building the bond of exercise as a family hobby. For some of you who you're like, my family is not into that at all, what I would say then is like find the hobby that they're really into and create space and allow them to talk about it, get excited with them and take interest in it. And then in turn say, I'd love to share with you about my hobby too. And so you guys are still connecting and it's not like this other world, you know what I mean? That being said, there's another situation where I actually faced this a lot with clients, especially more in the beginning of my career. Was they were like the only person doing fitness, and the other family members, specifically the husbands, were like, I don't want any part of that, you know? And what I told them and what I would still say them to say to them today is one of you will break, don't let it be you. Be the leader your family desperately needs, but doesn't realize that they want. They might like, my kid doesn't want it. Well, he does like vegetables, but let's say he didn't want to eat vegetables for dinner. He wanted to eat cake. I'm going to stand firm in my leadership and say, no, bro, you're having the vegetables, right? So I know it hurts and I know it can feel really emotional, but it's like allow the heaviness to kind of just be lifted and say, you know what? I'm going to endure your emotions in love and stand firm in my conviction of health and fitness is the way, right, in life. Like it's good to be healthy and fit. And eventually they come around. It might take 10 years, right? But it might not. If you're a chronic dieter, it will take longer, right? Because they maybe have been through some of those loops. That's okay. That's okay. Stand firm. I love that you're still taking action and not quitting, right? Just stand firm and learn the more sustainable way, naturally, right? But at the same time, like let it roll off your back and keep walking through it, standing firm in your conviction that health and fitness is the way in life, right? Not this other way of eating potatoes on the couch, potato chips on the couch. Yeah, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys, I'll share a really personal example. I was definitely not planning on sharing this, nor have I ever actually shared this with anyone in my entire life, not even a personal friend. And here I am sharing this on Facebook Live, but my heart is telling me to share it, so I'm going to share it. whew, I sound too emotional. Years ago, I was going through a really, really hard situation. And I had gone to my medical professional, and we were talking a little bit about depression. And I was active duty military for many years. And like that stuff you don't talk about, right? Like that is not okay. And so it was hard for me to talk about because it was like, I didn't want to admit it, you know? It felt really scary to admit. And she said, you have to put on your own oxygen mask first. That's literally why I said that to you today, was because I'll never forget that woman looking at me with so much compassion, like, don't worry, you're taking the step to take care of yourself. Don't worry about these other things. Keep taking the step to take care of yourself. And that really changed my life so much. And so that's too what we share with you is like, don't worry about the noise. Don't worry about the failures. Don't worry about anything. Keep taking the step to take care of yourself, and it will pay off. Diligence and discipline always pay off. Perseverance, like, keep going. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that switched really fast. I'm like, whoa, we're good now.
It's okay. Oh
Seriously, it's not selfish to take care of yourself, you guys. If you're shopping every day, if your husband's at home or wife's at home, wherever, cooking the meals, and you're like out shopping and going to happy hour and ignoring your family, okay, that's one thing. But going to the gym and exercising and taking that space for you as a woman, that's setting healthy boundaries. That's not being selfish with your time. It's like if your family was like, oh, don't eat, you need to spend time with me instead. Are you kidding? You're eating today? I need those 5 minutes. Like, it's kind of ridiculous, right? Why is lifting weights any different than that? It's vital for our life. It's vital for aging. It's vital for bone density. It's vital for confidence, for feeling amazing in our body. It massively amplifies women's self-worth. It massively amplifies women's self-confidence and self-esteem. A woman who's humbly confident and feeling amazing in herself is going to show up differently in her family than the woman who's insecure and feels like crap about her body. Her family's life will get better if she takes the time to.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If I had a microphone, I would drop it.
Exactly.
It's like we just need to hear it in a different way. It's like, you know what? I don't need permission. Like this is actually vital. It's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Thank you, Shelby. That was the last question, right?
That was it.
Awesome. Those were wonderful. Ladies, was that helpful for you to hear those perspectives and solutions and answers to those questions? We'd love to hear. Also, too, don't forget, we have that high volume food list. I know Nancy Shirley requested that. But yeah, if you guys have comments or questions, love it. Yeah. I assume that means I get to agree, but if that was about the food list, let me know. But yeah, I said it was this helpful. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Gina, definitely. Thank you for being here. We so appreciate you guys here. You know, we do these things, you know, to serve you. So we only want them to be good for you. So we hope this was so valuable. Yeah, totally. We love it. You guys, thanks for spending time with us today. Shelby, thank you so much for bringing those questions and being so dedicated to women on Facebook. You guys, she works her butt off to answer all your questions, to get you resources, to help solve your problems. Like, she freaking loves you. I'm not joking. It's actually really wonderful.
Yes.
We see you wanting the food list. I can't see your name here, but we'll see you after the video. Cool. Awesome, ladies. Okay. Thank you again so much for being here. Have a beautiful day. And I'm sure we'll talk to you tomorrow or Friday. See you later.